Welcome back, and this is the 20th episode of Twilight 2000. This will be, in theory, we haven't started playing it yet, so in theory, this is the last episode of this sort of run of 20. And then we'll have a break of about 10 weeks, and then we'll come back and see what happens to the team. But we don't know what's going to happen to the team for now. So, where we left them, Jane is very badly... Oh, of course, first, the standard thing. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm quite excited to do this one, see, I forgot this bit. Thank you very much for joining me. If you're a subscriber, thank you so much for being a subscriber. We are approaching 500 subscribers now, as of me recording this, which is the past. This is the past, this is me in the past. And I'm very, very grateful to all of you. Thank you so much indeed. Anybody who has liked, thank you so much for liking any of the videos I've produced on this bit. I am so grateful. And all your comments are so welcome. Thank you so much for all your input and all your ideas and all your comments, particularly those people who have served. Your insights and your pieces of information to help me with these 20 episodes have been invaluable. And later on, hopefully, we'll get to do a battle, which is what my plan is. As I said last week, my plan is to have a tank battle because we've not really explored vehicle combat or explored the heavy weapons combat. So to explore that for this one, and maybe a bit more in the next series, if you want to call them a series. And to Jay, who sent me the a link to the STLs, for which I'm going to be using for that. Thank you so much for that. It's very much appreciated. Anyway, really appreciate everything and all your support so much. It's unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. Thank you very much. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider it. It really helps. It helps surfacing, various other things. Oh, 2 minutes, that's too much of your time for begging. You don't want to hear me begging. Anyway, let's get on with it. So we have Jane, who has survived for has now got an injured leg, a useless leg. As been commented before, you know, a torn tendon, some torn muscle. I asked GPT about what that sort of injury would be, and basically the sort of injury that a dog could do to your leg would render it useless unless you can have really good surgery, and they have no access to the type of equipment or the type of surgery that Jane would need, and she would need extensive recovery and extensive physiotherapy to recover from it. So possibly when they get back stateside, possibly she may get her leg back, but for now she has a crippled leg. It's the same as having a severed leg. She has a useless leg. They are in a town and they have been given a safety overnight. The town is seeking help because they've been being attacked by marauders. Staff has tried to give them information that they've overcome some marauders, and basically they have all moved to the town, which is approximately, so it's approximately here on the map, which is this location where there is the vehicle that they were told about. Now, staff asked the inhabitants of the village and the village, you know, the bosses, did they know where it was, the vehicle, and so what I didn't really describe it, I think because of everything that was going on, I didn't describe. So how I envisaged it, so the actual entry, if I remember rightly, was buying and selling. So this is from the book rather than from the cards. Buying and selling, pieces approach a small village of 2d6 houses, can't remember how many we said it was, defended by local civilians who are ready to barter the pieces for weapons or protection in exchange for food and lodgings. They are armed with shotguns and pistols. The pieces might be offered to stay here indefinitely. So we have, so it says it's 2d6 times 5 inhabitants. Now I said there were 12 houses. So let's roll the inhabitants. So we've got 2d6 times 5 inhabitants, which would give us, what's that? So that gives us 7 times 5 is 35. So there's about 35 people. It's about 35 people in the town. And it says at the daytime, there is 1 times the number of PCs in guards, and at night time half that. So that would mean that there are approximately, so we can go, there are 4 to 6 people who are handy enough to be able to be guards and defend. It's in the outskirts, this place, Trzebnica. So we're going to say that this is an outskirts of Trzebnica. So it's a small settlement. Maybe Trzebnica got a bit destroyed, and the main town of Trzebnica, which will, again, past me, doesn't know what it looks like. Future me that's editing this will find some pictures of Trzebnica, and we'll have a look at what Trzebnica is. But this is a small settlement of houses. Maybe they've moved out to this. It's about 12 houses outside Trzebnica. They're dressed in, so if they've only got pistols and shotguns, they're not that well equipped. They have enough food to keep them going. Maybe they've been scavenging and hunting, and they're willing to keep, they're not that even well protected, we'd imagine. So it's not like the Mad King's place with fortified walls. This isn't really fortified walls. There's a couple of barricades that they could stand behind, but mostly it's open. There's a church, because I want to use that in the battle if possible. So there's a church, a small graveyard, which is quite overpopulated. I'm making stuff as we go now, so I'm taking notes. So if it goes cuts, that's me writing the notes down. So Trzebnica, just the outskirts of Trzebnica, is where we have spent the night of the 4th of May. May the 4th be with you. And we are now coming into the morning of the 5th of May. The people in the town will have given food. They're looked after Jane. Jane is well looked after. I did the healing for everyone, and I rolled the clocks for the 5th of May. So coming into the morning of the 5th of May, I'm not too sure whether staff would insist on keeping watch. Does he trust them or not? Well, so staff, everyone is basically in a fairly bad way apart from Jack. Jack's all right, actually. Jack might suggest that Jack keeps watch. Actually, what we'll do is let's have Doc and staff as the seniors. They're both sergeants, so staff is slightly higher, being staff sergeant. They're going to make empathy rolls, and they're going to see if they can work out whether it's safe or not. Because they're basically, we've all been suffering. So this is Doc. Doc gets a double hit. Doc will read them. This is staff. Staff fails. So staff is tired, and staff has got quite, mind you, Doc is stressed. Staff and Doc are both stressed. They decide that it's all going to be cool. So what we're going to have is we're going to have on the 5th of May. What's the weather like on the 5th of May? Same as it was beforehand, which was raining. So there's still rain. I did XP, and so everyone has over 10 XP. I have some plans for what to spend the XP on. I think staff will train Jane to be the sniper, and if they get a doctor from somewhere else, because we rolled that there was a doctor who needed to come from somewhere else, if I remember rightly, he might train Doc in another specialisation to either help deal with field surgery, to give him pluses when rolling to deal with critical injuries, or he could teach him just general practitioner, which would deal with disease or poison or NBC type stuff, so for healing radiation wounds. We've also got Jack, who may talk to the tank people, can do training, and staff I'm not too sure about. Anyway, they all get a night's sleep. So for the morning shift, I'll just write all sleep. So we'll have the townspeople will keep watch. They are civilians, so the townspeople are going to roll watch, which gives them a recon of D and an intelligence of C, which is a D6, D8. They get a hit. The townspeople get a hit, because we will still have an encounter. We'll do an encounter for the morning. Now everybody is going to heal. We'll give them all 1 back for everything, because that will then allow for the morning. They're being tended to. They get given a nice breakfast of porridge, good or whatever. What is anyone Polish? What's the traditional Polish breakfast that you would get? Like in some place like this. Something I always think of sort of a porridgey type breakfast, but what would be a traditional breakfast? Now, they would all be getting up late, as it's now day. So I think what we would do for our day, that's all right, what's the weather? Still raining. Now, the tank is in this area. So they said they know where the tank is, but they're defending it quite well. We will have Jane is of course recuperating. She's down to having 7 days left. Doc will look after her. We'll make him do a medical roll, but it's not going to help because it's all just going to keep progressing as it is. And they've called for the doctor who will be coming, but he's not going to appear overnight. And then we'll have Staff. He's going to go with Jack to look for the tank. So we would have them basically exploring. So they're going to go off, and we'll have Staff do watch because they're all in the same hex. So it's all here. The tank is here somewhere, and the village is here. So this is this covers 10 kilometers, or is it 20 kilometers? Range of kilometers of space. I think it's 10 kilometers. They're all quite close. So we will do, and then we've got the town. The town has watch as well, which we said was, I just said it was a D8, D6, didn't I? The town gets a hit. So the watch people in town get 1 hit for that. And then we've got Staff. He's going to go off, and he's going to go with Jack, and they're going to try and find the tank. Staff's recon is a D12, D10. D12, D10. So this is both. So this would be for him keeping watch and trying to find the thing. D12, D10. It is raining, but he does have binoculars, so they kind of cancel each other out. He gets 1 hit. And if I remember rightly, they hid it quite well, but still, he's going to be able to find it. So during this period of time, they will go and find the tank. Now we'll do, oh no, we need to do, well, let's do an encounter for the morning that the villagers would deal with, and then we'll do the encounter now. So for in the morning, this is on the road only. Actually, let me quickly look up encounters for if they're stationary. So what we do, so this doesn't, we'll keep that, but what we've got is stationary encounters are, if they're just stationary for sort of like 1 shift, then just draw a random encounter. If they remain stationary for longer, roll on the stationary encounters table over here and add 1 for each subsequent day during which piece. Oh, I didn't know about this. We should have been doing this during the game. So we'll roll a D6. We will not add 1 because they've only been here one day so far. A 6. Stragglers, D6 stragglers of the same nationality as some of the PCs appear at the camp. The soldiers ask for food, they act friendly and will share rumours, but will take the first chance to steal from the PCs and leave. The stragglers can use for replacement PCs if needed. Okay, so we're going to count that stragglers as being, so this doesn't count, so we're not doing that for the village. So this is the people who are at the tank that we're about to go and meet. Now we've got, so that's overnight, so we're just going to discount that. If we were DMs, we'd go, okay, we know who these are. These are the 2. So they're not going to try and steal, but replacing PCs is fine because this is what we're going to bolster the team. So we've got back at town. I will roll D6. 5 is refugees. So this will be the townspeople will deal with that. And then we've got Staff going around. That's an order. A band of stragglers from the US fort. So again, it's stragglers. So we're going to have that as being the people at the tank. All this points to the people at the tank. None of this is suggesting to me anything other than the people who are already at the tank, who we then go and find. So during the day, it's raining. They get taken across several fields. It's clear that there's been a lot of battles in this area, which is why Trzebnica got a bit smashed up and lots of people migrated to these smaller towns and built this up, which is out of town. Trzebnica is the site of lots of battles were occurring in this area, and they go via various different ruts. There's different craters which have been created, and they start approaching an area where there is clearly Staff notices that the area has been attempted to be camouflaged, but he with his trained eye and his 1 hit spots it. So Staff will be shouting out, "Anyone there? Oi, anyone there?" And then Jacob will come out. "Stop where you are." I can't remember what accent I used for him. "Stop where you are. Who are you?" So Staff is going to attempt to persuade this dude that he is who he says he is. I'll roll his persuasion to make it easy. But Staff has got, I'm going to give Staff a +1, give him a D. So he's normally got a D8, D6. I'm going to give him a D8, D8 because there's Jack with him. So Jack's not wearing uniform as it goes, but Staff is in uniform. Staff will maybe they've got I don't know, because Operation Reset, he'll mention Operation Reset. He'll mention the battle in Calais. He'll mention them being on the run, and he'll basically try and get Jacob. He'll mention that he knows that there's a vehicle, it's damaged. He'll say that Jack, all right, my geezer here, he's a mechanic. He is. He'll help you fix it. Now, I don't know what you got, but whatever you got, we could do with a hand. One of us got injured. Her leg's knackered, mate. Absolutely knackered. There's no way she's going to tab it across border. Now, I need a vehicle to get us home. And I need you to help us. And he got hit. Whee! So Jacob will believe what Staff is saying, and will take Staff through some bushes and through, and behold, a Bradley tank. Now the Bradley tank would have been damaged in the battle. Now what I imagined was it was damaged down to either 1 or no reliability, i.e. it's not moving. So Specialist Jones has been attempting to fix it this whole time. So what I thought we could do is, so I asked ChatGPT, because I have no idea how long it takes to fix the tank or what sort of things happen with the tank. So I asked ChatGPT, I said, Twilight 2000 engineers, they can jury rig stuff, they're good, they've got spare parts, because I imagine that because of all the battlefield. Now, one of the things it said in that encounter was that you could scavenge parts. So I imagined that Specialist Jones has had heaps of time to scavenge parts. So he's got enough parts, he just doesn't necessarily have the skill sets, or being on his own, he's able to do it. Now, Jacob, I gave Jacob some technical skills, because I don't know if we discussed that. So he's got a tech of D, but that still doesn't really help. And so I asked GPT, and GPT said it could take a few days to a few weeks to fix a tank, such as a Bradley, depending on the damage. If it's electrical damage, it may be really difficult. So if they can take it, say, to 4 reliability, we can say that it's, what's it got? It's got special targeting systems, which means that it doesn't take anything for stability. The Bradley has. They'll be fixed and they'll be okay. But first we need to know, has Specialist Jones been able to do anything? So what I thought we could do is we could roll. He's had a few days. We can maybe give him 2 or 3 rolls and see if we can take it from a reliability of 0 and how long we can take that up. And that tells us how long it's going to take he and our Jack like, and how long it's going to take him to fix it like, because I don't know, but he'll do his best. So Jonesy has an intelligence of a D10 and a tech of a D8. He is a mechanic who has +1 for repairing engines, which would give him a D10. So we'll give him 2 or 3 rolls, and for every every time he gets a success on a roll, we won't do 4 each success. We'll put the reliability up by 1. So he's got, he fixed it up. Reliability 1, reliability 2, reliability 3, double hit. So he's been able to get it up to reliability 3. So the engine turns over, and so they're going to come in. Jonesy will go, you can help me fix her. You can help me get her going again. We can also say, because I don't know how many rounds, so we'll say we're going to need this, high explosive rounds. I don't know. I don't know how many does a Bradley, how many shells does a Bradley carry? Oh, okay, so this says, I didn't know this. This says the Bradley is primarily for transporting infantry or scouts with armour protection. It's not a tank, but an infantry fighting vehicle. The main armament of the Bradley is a 25mm M242 Bushmaster chain gun. Fair dues. So this is, so it's got down 25mm, 300 round magazine. Oh, okay, so they've got range. So what's its rate of fire? Rate of fire is 4. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so we won't worry about that. So they've got 1 reload. They have 1 reload for that. Okay, learn something new every day. They've got it to a reliability 3, and what we'll then have for the rest of the day, we can have that Jack will help Jonesy. So Jonesy, I don't know, think Toby Jones That's what I've got in my head. Who's an actor? Google it or I'll find a picture. I'm imagining Jonesy, Specialist Jones, is looking like Toby Jones, and I'm not too sure how. I imagine Jacob being beardy, bit muscular. He's got a high strength. He's basically, I did him, as I said last week, very physical. He's basically a gunner, so he carries a heavy weapon, and he also would know how to operate the weapons on the vehicle, particularly if it's a chain gun. So we will have, for the evening shift, Jack is going to fix the vehicle. Staff is going to pull security. We've got Doc and we've got Jane back. So Doc will maybe start to help. Doc is going to start to help and treat some of the people in the village who've got simple ailments. So he's going to do like hearts and mind stuff. So he's going to do doctoring, whilst the main doctor turns up, who will probably turn up tomorrow during the day to talk to them. So the doctor will turn up during the day. So we'll have, so the evening shift, it gets worse. It's a storm. So there's a bit of a thunderstorm in the evening shift, and then during the night, we'll have them, they'll go back and sleep. So Jack is going to attempt to help fix the tank. We'll roll his D12, D10, D12, D10. Actually, what we could do also during this is we could have Jonesy try and teach Jack during this period of time the mechanic skill set. So we'll first off roll, see if Jack can help fix the vehicle. Yep, Jack gets that up, so that goes to reliability 4. And then we'll see if Jonesy can try, where's Jonesy? Jonesy's here. Jonesy has no persuasion. Jonesy is going to try and show Jack during the shift that they're trying to fix it, how to do stuff to try. So Jack will then learn the mechanic specialism. I need to roll a hit on a D8, or Jack can't quite teach him. He'll have to do it tomorrow. Nope. Jonesy tries teaching Jack. Jack can't quite grasp what he's going on about, or Jonesy's just a really bad teacher. Then they will go on the night shift. They will head back. Let's do Doc's doctoring. Let's see if he rolls a lot of hits. D12, D10, D12, D10. Oh, 3 hits. Okay, so he's winning lots of hearts and minds. The village loves him. So the village loves Doc. The village is starting to look after Jane. Janie's being well treated. Then there's the night shift. Then we would go into the 6th of May. The first thing we would do, so we would then do, there's no real XP for that one. We will do the 6th of May where we have the clock. So first off, we're going to do the clocks. We have the captain, which is, so the captain's clock is 4 segments. It's on 3. 1, it doesn't go up. And then we've got the Mad King, who is on, has got 6 segments and is on 4. 1, it doesn't go up. So on the 6th of May, they're sending out scouts. They still aren't being able to find anything. Let's roll that thing. So a 2 means we just do a normal encounter in the middle of the night, but everyone is sleeping, so this is going to be the village who will deal with this. It's a road, daytime, fuel tank, so that doesn't mean anything because we'd only have the ones that come up with the camp. Right, 6th of May. Morning, they all get to sleep in. We will heal everyone. So Doc heals 1 of his stress. Staff heals 1 stress and 1 hit point. So Staff is on 1 stress, 1 hit point. Doc is on 2 stress. Jack is fine. Jane will come down to 2 hit points, and then she's got 6 days before she can start to move herself around. Okay, so during this day, so that's all sleep. Jack will go back. So I think we'll just do, we can do the shifts, but they're not really doing it. So during today, Jack is going to go back and fix up attempt to fix up the Bradley with Jonesy. So Jonesy won't leave it, and then Jacob won't leave Jonesy on his own. They would all have come back to the village, but they won't. They'll refuse to come back to the village. And the doctor will come to town, and he's going to help set Jane and fix Jane up, so Jane will then be more mobile. And what we'll do is we'll cut Jane. If the doctor can teach Doc general practitioning, we're going to give Jane an extra day, and then Doc will learn that. So that's what we'll have. So first off, we'll do Jack attempting to fix the car, and Jonesy attempting to teach Jack mechanic. So Jack, D12, D10. Let's boost that D2 D12. We'll call that, so that's 2 hits. So the truck, so the tank, the Bradley, engines go fire up. The tracks will maneuver. The turret is maneuverable. Everything is working fine. This is by the end of the day, by the end of the 6th. There's lots of celebrations as the tank will then come back by the end of the evening shift. So staff, let's roll staff. Staff would keep watch. I would have him D12, D10. Because, what's the weather like? It's because it's still storming. D12, D10. He gets a hit. So staff is still keeping security. That's the 6th of May. And the tank will come back at the end of the day and will put itself near the town. They'll try camouflaging it and covering it over. And Jonesy and Jacob will have their first night of the night of the 7th. We'll have 6th. We'll have their first night in town, and they'll all get to rest. Now we'll have Doc. He's going to attempt to get taught by a doctor who's going to come to town. Standard doctor, old suit. In like old wall suit, looking shattered. He's been going around all over the place all the time. So I'm going to give him a persuasion so he can teach, let's say, a D8. And an intelligence is a doctor, so we'll give him a D10. D8, D10. If he gets a hit, he's taught Doc general practitioning. Hit! So Doc is going to learn GP, which is +1 for treating disease, poison, MB, C stuff, and that consumes 10 experience points, leaving him 7. We didn't do Jack, did we? We didn't do Jonesy trying to teach Jack mechanic. Yes. Jack, in the end, Jack gleans what Jonesy is all on about and spends 10 experience points to learn mechanic. Shall we give Staff a chance to teach Jane? Let's give Staff a chance to teach Jane sniper. So Staff is going to spend part of the day, the evening, going through the hunter rifle, going through the different things with the, I mean, this is, I know it's like a long course to learn how to be a sniper, but he's going to attempt to teach Jane all of the elements, so she then gleans that, which means Staff needs to roll Staff's persuasion. Staff does have persuasion because he's a reasonably good teacher, because that's part of what special forces do. So he has a D8 and a D6. He gets a hit, and so Jane has now learned the without the practicalities of it, the art of the sniper, giving her +1 with hunting and sniper rifles. So they all spend a day learning and teaching and eating, and then we will roll what we'll have one encounter just to see what happens during the day. Well, let's roll this. What's that come out? All right, that's just refugees, but we'll do this. What have we got? So this is a hungry and angry. A group of refugees starving and hypothermic, have cholera, are aggressive and demand food and shelter. PCs can persuade them to leave or use violence to chase them off. So I am going to say, I am going to give both the Mad King and Captain Jacob a roll on the clock, because we will say that those are scouts that have come forwards and that are maybe from the Mad King. Scouts that have come forwards and they're trying to find out what's going on, so they're being a bit shifty, and Staff comes out with Jack and Jacob and basically tell them all to just bugger off. We'll do Staff's what did I say, D10, D8? he gets a hit, so they persuade them to move along, but that means that we're going to roll on the clock. So Mad King, 1, 2, 3, 4. Mad King goes up by 1, and the Captain Jacob, Captain 1, 2, 3. Jacob goes. So Jacob's clock is full. So at the end of, due to that, at the end, so for the 7th of May, word has gone back to Captain Jacob that in Trzebnica, is that what I said it was? Trzebnica? That's where they are. The people who have been hitting his people is in Trzebnica. Could have the Mad King turn. All right, so this is the plan. 7th of May, during the 7th of May, and this is what we'll end on because we've been going like, I don't know, about half hour. So this is what we're now going to do. We will now transition to the big table. I will set up a village, I've just wedged it, but it works on the 7th of May. The benefit for the team is that they've been able to be trained. So we will have, let's roll staffs. I'm going to roll staffs. I'm going to take it. The staff is going to start patrolling again because he's on full. Oh, if we go to this morning, the 7th of May, we'll have them all get healed and then I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Okay, so Jane only has 4 days left, so Jane's okay. So this is what's going to happen. I'm going to roll staffs recon, D12, D10. If I get at least 1 hit on this, they find out that there's people coming en masse because there's a BTR coming. So we know that Captain Jacob is a BTR, so that's coming and that's going to be full of men. We also got that the Mad King's going to come, not with many because he didn't hit it, so we'll have 1 car full of the Mad King's people who are coming with because they don't know about the tank. They're going to come with because that means the Mad King with his fixed up jaw is going to turn up angry, and it also means that we get an opportunity to bring back Staff's sniper rifle because he can bring it with him because that got left behind. And then we will have a roll to see if, I'm not too sure if, let's see if McCoy, they'll bring McCoy as well, just to gloat about the dog. If it's red, then McCoy's with them. Heart, red, McCoy's with them. So McCoy and the sniper rifle are going to come back to Staff in a car with the Mad King and a few men, and we're going to have a BTR turn up with a bunch of men. They might position a mortar on the outer skirts because we haven't done mortar rules either, and then we'll go to the table. So this may end up being 2, but because I've witted a lot for the first half, which I wasn't planning to. So this is for Staff to know and for them to get a chance to set up. 3 hits. I think that's good enough. This is the plan. I'm going to set up the table. There's going to be a church. We're going to stick Jane at the top of the church with her sniper rifle because they know they're coming. We're going to have the tank situated front and center, and then we will probably stick. Staff is also going to situate himself somewhere with his hunting rifle, and Jane's going to have a hunting rifle so they can snipe. And then we'll have Jack manoeuvring around, and we'll have the tank. So maybe Jack's in the tank helping with the tank crew, and we can have a bit of a tank battle against the BTR and see what happens. And that's what we're going to do now. We're going to go to the table. I'll set that up. Let's see what happens. Okay, so here we are at the table. I have done a big 6 foot by 4 foot table. I have not set one of these up since I was playing Warhammer or during those dark days of being locked down. So we have, I've forgotten its name, but I will dub it over. We have Trzebnica. We've got a church, and in the steeple of the church, we've managed to, using ropes, get Jane up there, and Staff is up with her. They both have hunting rifles. Then we have our Bradley, which I didn't realise, I thought it was a tank, but it's not, it's a personnel carrier. Jack is inside the Bradley. He will operate one of the M4s on the outside. Then we have Jacob, who's the heavy weapons specialist. Jacob will operate either the chain gun or the TOW. They've got 2 TOWs, so the TOWs. They would normally be mounted on a pod here, but it broke off. So they are inside the Bradley, and Specialist Jones is driving the Bradley. That's there. Then we have over on this side, so this is, we've got a church with the dead. That's all the gravestones I could find. in amongst all my various scatter terrain. A road outside the town, Bradley. Doc, I was wondering where to put Doc. Doc is probably best situated at the moment with the town being under attack in the town, doing medical aid on people if need be, rather than actually being fighting, because he is trained in medicine and has just been specially trained. And there's another doctor, but we're expecting casualties because we have, on the other side, we have a no man's land which is where the tank battle and various things happened. We've got some craters. Most of these trees have been destroyed and they've cleared some space. Then we have a tree line outside. From the tree line, we have the Mad King, who has brought a handful of people. My intention is he's going to drop off there 2 people with a mortar, because it did say that they had a mortar back at that base. And then we have the BTR 80, which has a 30mm. So our Bradley has a 25mm chain gun. The BTR has a 30mm chain gun. What I didn't realise when I was imagining this a few weeks ago is actually the Bradley and the BTR are quite evenly matched with the statistics from the book. The BTR has a slightly better gun. The Bradley has slightly better armour. The Bradley can move faster than the BTR can. They both carry the same men. So the BTR is full of Captain Jacob's men. Captain Jacob is not here. The Mad King is inside there. When we kick off, we will do initiatives because we rolled for recon. We knew people were coming. We knew where they were. So we will deal out initiative cards for the Mad King's crew, Captain Jacob's crew, and we'll do one for the tank and one for the people up in the tower, and we'll do it that way because it'll probably be easier initiative wise. I think what I will have, the plan would be for the Mad King would be here. Probably Captain Jacob didn't want him to turn up. He's here for revenge. So he's going to basically drop off his mortal crew and then try and cruise in, because he's not expecting there to be resistance after he starts putting. So he'll stay up there until a few mortal rounds have gone into the town. Once a few mortal rounds have gone into the town, he would then come and sort of try and basically get them to give up. And Captain Jacob's crew is going to ignore that and going to try and wade in, do some damage to the town, unload all their crew, and then try and sort of come in by force. They're not expecting this place to put up a lot of force, and they don't think that the Americans that they know of should be able to resist what they've got, because they don't know about the Bradley. They've all now seen each other. We will now do initiatives. So you can see I'm not playing sillies. Shufflies. Right, so this one is for, we'll give this one to Captain Jacob. Going on 5. I knocked a tree over. This one is going to the Mad King. Going on 3. This one is going to the tank. Going on 2. That's what we want. And our sniper crew up in the turret. Going on 1. 10. Ooh. Alright, so our initiatives are out. I'll show you my little pot of men. So we have our Mad King's crew and the Mad King. He will have a heavily bandaged face. He is injured. He is low on hit points, but he is angry. And then we have the Soviets that we've been using, who will be with them. And then, well, who's this? It's McCoy. So what I thought was the Captain Jacob would be sending a large crew. We have that BTR can hold 7 plus the driver. There are 9 soldiers there, not including the driver. And so there will be 2 outside to give people pot shots if they want to. Right, so at the top we have our tank. Now we'll have everyone in the tank going at the same time. What we'll do, I'll point this over here so you can see the tank. So a lot of this will be static images whilst I look up paperwork, because as we all know, Twilight 2000 is very paperwork heavy. So we have our driver. Now our tank can move, the Bradley can move safely in combat 5 hexes, which we're counting as our measuring stick, on road and 4 off road. So if we basically maneuver, we probably couldn't take a shot here, but if we can get up to about here, then we can get a nice shot, probably on taking out our BTR as soon as possible. with maybe firing off our tau, because we've not fired one of them before. So we can move 4 without needing to do a driving roll, but we'll do one anyway. 1, 2, 2.5. So easy for our Bradley to pull out here. Now we're going to pull out side on, because that will give Jack the opportunity to use the side mounted M4s, and then our turret will sound effects and everything. It's very professional. Will turn. So we'll do a driving roll just for the sake of it, so Jonesy has something to do. So Jonesy has an agility of 10 and a driving of 10. So D10. 1 hit, so he could go an extra square, but he safely travels that distance. Next, we will have Corporal Gunner Nowak, Jacob. He is going to attempt to fire the Tau at the BTR. We will say that based on the fact that the Tau has a range of 50, he's definitely in range for that. It has a reliability of 5, rate of fire of 1, damage of 11, crit of 1. So it'll definitely crit. Mag of 1, armor is -2. He is doing a front shot on the front part of the BTR because that's all that's visible to him. So he gets to roll his heavy weapons, which is because it's mounted, it uses agility instead of strength. So that's D10, D10. He's not firing a machine gun, so he doesn't get that. There is no minuses for moving because this has an active fire control system. So it's a D10, D10 aiming at the BTR. 1 hit, and we can't re-roll that because it came up, because otherwise I'll just go for more hits. So 1 hit. 1 hit will do 11 points of damage on the front of the BTR. This might be the finish of the BTR before we've even started. So let's pull up our damage tables for vehicle combat. We've not done this before. So 11 points will hit the front of the BTR. What we have is once we hit the front, we first see if there's penetration. Now the BTR has forwards armor of 4. The rocket disconnects, cracks into the front of the BTR, and there's an almighty explosion. Now a Tau has an armor modifier of -2, which means that its forward armor of 4 drops to 2. It did 11 points of damage, minus the 2, makes it doing 9 points of damage. So first off we roll, so it's definitely penetrated. The occupants will need to make a coolness under fire roll, or they're all going to basically dive out then, even if they're not hurt. So first off we roll a D10 to see where it penetrated. 2. Engine. Reroll for front or rear attacks. Okay, so engine. Each point of damage will reduce the reliability rating of the vehicle by 1. If it's reduced to 0, the engine is disabled and the vehicle is rendered inoperable. Any excess damage will be stopped by the engine block and does not continue to hit another component. Okay, so basically, the first rocket hits the BTR and it cracks the engine block. The engine block goes up. The BTR is now, what does it say? It is now, so it's got 0, it's now inoperable. So we can still say the weapons will work, but it's no longer going to drive anywhere. It's stuck there. That was it for that vehicle. So now we need to roll the coolness under fire for the Soviets, otherwise they bail out, which says anyone who fails to roll must immediately bail out on their next turn, i.e. spend a slow action to exit the vehicle. Okay, so we will do their coolness under fire, and then we will just drop a token on top of it if it is. Their coolness under fire is a C, which is a D8. So we will roll a D8 for them, but we're going to give them a D6 because they do have an officer with them. They fail, so that means all of them are going to dive out of that vehicle as fast as possible because they are panicking. So we're going to stick that on top of that to remember when we get around to initiative 5, they're coming out. I think Jack is going to, because they're on initiative 2, I'm going to stick Jack on top of here because Jack is going to drop his initiative down to 10 over here, which you can exchange your initiative with someone else, which means that he will be going at the same time as everybody in the tower, taking pot shots at anyone who dives out of the vehicle. 2, 3, the crew will have seen that, and 2 crew will get out here, or we'll say they've already set up their mortar, but that's them setting up their mortar and making sure they're okay. And our pickup truck, which can move 3 cross country, might try and come around and bring the rest of the crew around and then start shooting at this, or would they? Nah, I reckon he's gonna still follow his same plan. He's gonna get out with, so this is all using, exit vehicle is a slow action. So they're all using their slow actions to get out of the vehicles. We'll give them we'll say that their next slow action will be setting up the mortar, because Mad King's not expecting this. So they're out, and the other 3 lads are still in the car waiting to be told what to do. These lads first. All 7, so the 2 on the vehicle jump off, and everybody else, which is, what's that? That would be 6 others. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to say that the captain is the one with the rocket launcher. So the officer is the one with the rocket launcher. They are all scattering out of here, and they're going to have to start doing their maneuvers and fires, but they're using their slow action to exit en masse. Can you see all them? Does that make any sense? So they've all exited en masse from there. We will say that the driver, because if they've got, the driver is staying in, but his cornice under fire is meaning he doesn't get a go on this turn. He's basically trying to sort the vehicle out, make sure everything's okay, and get up into the turret to mount the 30mm cannon. Or we could say that he's in up for, no, one more shot on it and we'll say it's dead as, blows up. Right, so that's 5. Now we've got the lads up, lads and lasses. We are equal opportunity murderers here. I reckon we will have, let's see, we know this guy's an officer. Sarge has got his training. I reckon Sarge is going to do a fast aim, getting him down to, so it's not a quick shot, so he doesn't do it, get his -2. And then he is going to do a sniper shot and try and take that officer out. See if he can really mess up them lot. Whilst Jane is using her slow action to do a slow aim on the Mad King. And Jack is going to use the M4s inside the vehicle. So the Bradley has got a 25mm and it's also got an M240B, and it's got the tail, but they are all coaxial, so only one of them can fire at the same time. They can't fire all at the same time. So Jack is going to man an M4 and open up on the soldiers. We'll do Jack first. So Jack's M4 has got a range of 4. 1, 2, so that's 3. So he's just going to shoot in at this soldier here. This one here. So Jack's agility is a D10, range combat is a D8. Because he's mounted and it moved, I think that gives him a negative, but I'm going to just give him a D8 and hit the M4. Has a rate of fire of 6, so he gets 5 dice with that. So he's shooting at that dude there. He gets no hits, but 1 there. He might push it, but it's going to damage the gun, but that's okay because he's got 3 others on that side. So he's going to try pushing it. Nope. So that gun does take 1 point of damage. It empties at 6, 10, 13, 15, 17 rounds are emptied. And the guy, he takes all of them take a cornice under fire, otherwise they'll be losing their next turn as well. What did I say, their cornice under fire? Because the officer was up, we gave that a D8, D6, didn't we? Nope. So they're all keeping their heads down. Hold on, I'll put that down. So they en masse are keeping their heads down. The guy in the BTR is not affected by this, so that's why it's not on it. What did I say? I said 17 rounds, didn't I? 17 rounds, and its reliability has dropped to 4 for one of them. There's 6 in a Bradley, 3 side mounted on each side, which is why Jonesy, Specialist Jonesy, turned the vehicle side on so Jack could actually utilise the guns. Now, Jane doing the slow aim. Staff is going to try and shoot at that. Officer, hunting rifle. My steps are going to be massive off this, darting backwards and forwards. Hunting rifle has a range of 10, so it's definitely within normal range. Staff has a D10 agility, D8 range combat. You can actually try and bump that up at some point. +1, give him a D10, D10. It is raining, because we did say it was stormy rain. So I'm going to reduce that to, so it was a D10, D10, call it a D8. I think rain, what's that? Range, combat and recon, heavy rain, -1. So D10, D8. So what we giveth with sniper training, we take away with the heavy rain. One hit with hunting rifle will do 3 points of damage. 3 points of damage, as far as I'm concerned, is enough to put that officer down on his bum. Officer goes down, they all start to panic a bit more. Staff has done what you planned to do. That was 10, that was Jane, that's everyone. We roll back up to the top for round 2. Round 2, we have the Bradley. The Bradley, what shall the Bradley do? Bradley could put another towel into the BTR and finish it off, or we could open up with the 25mm on the geezers over there, or we could just drive into them. But I reckon we are going to put that BTR out of action first. So we will get Corporal Jacob Nowak is going to load up the second. This is all of the ones they've got. They basically haven't got anything else. Or he could fire the machine. No, it's not a machine. Minigun. He could fire that. Let's fire that. Let's fire that at the BTR and see what happens. It's the main gun, 25mm, armor piercing. They're going to fire that up. It's got a range of 30, so it's definitely in range. Holds 300 rounds. Rate of fire of 4. So he is going to do rate of fire of 4, giving him 3 dice. He does get his +1 for this. It's agility because it's mounted. It's a heavy weapon, so that'll give him a D12 +1 for the machine gunner and a D10. D10, D12. He is shooting at this same lead dude here. Oh no, he'll shoot at the BTR. He's actually going to shoot at the BTR. Whoop. So we get, do you see that? We get 3, 4 and a 5. The M20, the 25mm has a damage of 5 with a crit of 3. So that damage is 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 points go through. 8 points, crit of 3. So 8 points goes through, -4 is 4 points penetrate. So 4 points penetrate. I think that even the driver's coming out. Oh, hold on. Let me roll a d6 to see if the armor got penetrated by the towel. Nope. So 4 points go through. We roll again, a d10 again on our penetration table. 5. Cargo. What does that do? Struck, a random item stored there for effect damage on gear. Okay, it's nothing. Cargo goes through. Ammunition. The main ammunition store is hit. If the attack inflicts 1 point of damage, half the ammunition in the vehicle is destroyed. It affects 2 points of damage. All the ammunition is destroyed and lost. Any excess damage can use. Okay, so 2 points go through. So all the ammunition is destroyed. There is no more ammunition for the 30mm. Suspension. Each point of reduced. Okay, the reliability is already at 0. Engine is already destroyed, so we're going through to the fuel. The attack inflicts 1 point of damage or more, the tank will leak. The maximum fuel capacity is halved until damage repaired. Also, if the damage was from an explosion, no, it isn't. This exposes everyone inside the vehicle to intensity. Alright, so no ammunition left. We've got the driver, might bail out. Let's do the driver. He's only got a D8 now. He fails, so the driver will bail out. And the BTR is now dead. Which, BTR's no good. What could Jacob? Jacob could manoeuvre the... No, there's no point manoeuvring. That's that. Now we've got over here, we will have a spotter is going to do a recon roll, which for a civilian, these are hunters really. A hunter, a recon roll is a C and a C, which is a D8, D8. So he needs to get a hit to get a spot. I don't know, that's too close, but the actual plan was to hit the town. So he needs to get a hit to get to spot to hit the town, failing. So he unsuccessfully spots. So now we'll have his buddy, who hasn't really fired one of these before. He has got agility of B, and we'll give him a D10, D6 for his mortar shot. He got a hit, but sadly, because his mate failed the spot, it doesn't go wildly, but it like blows up on the far. It takes out on the far, or maybe it takes out in the middle of this field over here. So all corn goes up. There's field is on fire, which is actually probably has killed quite a few people through the winter. So that's that. The Mad King is going to start shouting through a megaphone that it's to give up, and that'd be 3. He's not going to stop. Oh no, or maybe Mad King will take a pot shot at the tower, because he saw a shot come from the tower with a staff sniper rifle. I'll give him a D10 and a D8. No hits. So he takes a pot shot, and McCoy is yapping and yapping. These lot are all diving to the ground, and they're going to start scattering because they are panicking. Can you see me do this? Good. They can do one. Yeah. They're going to start scattering, but that's all they're going to do is basically scatter and dive to the ground. We will probably have a couple more of these die, and they're going to leg it because they are not in the mood. Now their officer's gone down to suffer. So they've gone. Jack can open fire. Jack will open fire with the M4. He will just randomly target someone at the front, some of these soldiers at the front over here with the M4. Jack. All right, so he's got D10, D8. D10, D8, and the M4 has a rate of fire of 6, so he gets 5 dice. 5 dice, D10, D8. 1 hit. So he hits this dude here, doing 2 + 1, 3, which is a crit. So this dude here goes down. They all have to make colonists under fire. They fail again, so we'll keep that there. So these are basically just being routed continually. That was Jack. Now we will have Jane is going to try and shoot the Mad King and do a proper job of it at this time. So our Jane, now she is injured, so I'm going to give her a massive minus, but she has a D12 for agility, a D10 for range combat. She has +1 because of Hunter Sniper, which gives her a D12. She gets +2 because she is stationary in cover and did a sniper aim. I am going to give her a -4 for being injured, but because she's so good at this, that still gives her a D10. So she has a D10 shot on the Mad King, doing 3 hits. Let's move that one over there, so just the glare of the light, my top down lights don't say. 3 hits on the Mad King. 3 hits on the Mad King. I should have done a cold shot, shouldn't I? Hunting rifle does 3 points damage, so that's 3, 4, 5 points, which is definitely a crit. In the torso. He's not wearing any body armor. Hit on the torso. Let's do a D10 roll. So this is definitely a crit on the D10 roll. A 2. That says broken ribs, stamina, 2d6, but basically Mad King gets shot in the chest, goes down. He lets go of, gets shot in the chest and goes down. He lets go of McCoy, and McCoy will then start to run. Now we've got Staff. Now on Staff's turn, Staff is going to do a slow aim at one of the mortar team. That car might turn around and go away. If one of the mortar team goes down next round, that car's going to turn around and go away. So Staff is doing a slow aim on one of the mortar team. Job done. Next round, cut back to the top. Tank. Jacob has, Corporal Jacob has killed the BTR. I think he's now going to kill that Jeep. If he kills, well, he doesn't know about McCoy, does he? Now he's going to turn and he's going to open fire on that Jeep, tearing this tree apart and see if he can murder the Jeep, which is the main weapon. Corporal Jacob, agility of 10, range combat, no, heavy weapon of 10, D10, D10, plus 1, which is D12, D10, D10, D12. What did I say that the rate of fire was? It was 3. Rate of fire 3. So this is on the Jeep. Getting 1 hit with a plus 1. This does a damage of 5, so that does 6 points. The Jeep has an armor of 1 at the front, which is a 5. So we roll a D10. A 4. Ammunition, there is none. Suspension, 4 points going through, which reduces it to a reliability of 1. So basically, plows through the undercarriage, ripping out all of the suspension, dropping its reliability down to 1. Everybody in that area makes a coolness under fire check. The hunters, where do I put them? They have a coolness of under fire, a CUF of 8. They hit, so they all stay chill. They all keep cool. Stay in the vehicle, though the reliability of that vehicle has dropped to 1. I think they're definitely leaving on their turn. So that was Jacob. Jonesy still isn't doing very much. He's just revving the engine, making sure that everything stays cool. I mean, really he wants to be front on because the armor on the front is better, but no one's actually shot him yet. He's a bit blasé about this. So next we would then go, so that was on initiative 2. Initiative 3 is those people. We are going to do one of our checks to see what they're going to do. If this is a red, that's good for us, they're going to split. If it's a black, that's bad for us, they're going to bail out and start shooting. It is a red, it's hearts, they've had enough. The people in the Jeep are going to turn and they're going to leg it, and they're not even going to wait for the people in on the ground with the mortar crew to get in, because they're panicking and they're basically going to splutter because they've got a reliability 1 pickup. They're just going to exit the scene stage left, leaving the mortar crew there, who will make a CUF roll. If they pass, they stay on fire another mortar round. If they fail, they're going to run as well. They pass, okay, fair enough. So they're going to try and do a recon roll. No, which means another mortar round goes off. They've got 1 mortar round left, and then they'll go. And Bones can run 3. 1, 2, 3. He's going to run this way for no other reason than canine intuition. So that's them. Then we've got this crew here. They are all going to keep their heads down as tightly as possible, and you deal with their Coins under fire check. Now we're back to Jack and his M4s. I think he's going to have to, so he will change to a different M4 because that one's empty. And he will open up on these. These are undercover, so it's not going to be as easy. The M4 has a rate of fire of 5. He has his, what did I say, D8, D8? Okay, so with that and that, basically he can take 2 out. And this is where they're going to start running away. What shall we have? We will do Staff will make his final shot as Jane is doing her aim, and then we might say that we will call that. If they can get, if Staff can put this dude down, we'll call it. That's that. The attack on whatever this village is called, I can't remember its name, fails. So Staff, being not as good as Jane, has his D10, 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 D10 with the +1. Then he gets +2, but we'll take away +2 being D12, D10, -1 being, yeah, D12, D10. D12, D10 on one of the mortar crew. 3 hits. Okay, 3 hits. We will say this guy goes down as he's about to drop the mortar into the back, and it fires off wildly, explodes over here. This guy, or explodes into a tree. Shrapnel kills this dude as well, which leaves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 members of Captain Jacob's attack team. They will disperse into the wilds, and we'll call that done. So that was over a bit quicker than I was expecting. The Bradley and the BTR were quite evenly matched, though because the Bradley drew the faster initiative card, it had a chance to basically cripple the BTR before the BTR had a chance to really react. And then from that point on, the Captain Jacob's troops from Ostresov were basically routed instantly. So they didn't really have much chance to react. And then we had Staff and Jane in the high point, basically just picking off key players. So what we are left with, I imagined it finishing, the last few rounds get shot, the ex-Soviet troops, because they're not really anymore, because they're Captain Jacob's troops now, they run off into the hills. Got the Mad King's people have split in their absolutely destroyed four-wheel drive pickup truck. They've disappeared off back to the Mad King's camp. So basically, smoke settles. We would then see Staff and Jane in the tower. Staff sort of patting Jane on the back, sort of job well done, because she was the one who did the good shot. And then we would have a cut from inside the Bradley with the three of them celebrating their success and panning out. And then we can cut back to Captain Jacob. So a few days later, Captain Jacob reports getting back to him, and your standard 1980s scene of someone in Soviet uniform. That would be different. It wouldn't be quite the proper uniform. Maybe he's created his own insignia now, so he's created his own army in Ostresov, banging his fist on the table and looking angry. So Captain Jacob is still a problem for them and may still send people out after them. It all depends how. So we need to work out how vindictive he is. We don't know that. Is he vindictive enough to chase down, or is he going to finish? Basically, is he one of the baddies of the first arc, or do we carry him over to keep chasing? I would think next what we've got is Staff reuniting with McCoy. So Staff on his knees, with Staff back with McCoy, and his rifle is L96, but he'll have no ammunition for it. Although someone did mention the M240's rounds will work with it. Otherwise, Staff has no rounds for it. So we've got that. Now we could then cut. So Doc would have been making sure everything's okay. Now a couple of those mortar rounds did deviate. So that was quite interesting as well, working with indirect fire. We might play with that more because we now have a mortar, and I'll say two rounds for it. So we could utilise the mortar and work out how that works. So it seems that with the mortar, you need to have a spotter who's good at recon to then identify and call in the position of the target. And then the mortar team needs to have a good heavy weapon skill to be able to get hits on target, which they didn't, because they were just hunters. So they used it to basically scare people. But neither of those mortar rounds actually had good effect. The Bradley was all right, but clearly, so the one thing is with Captain Jacob, will he fix his T-72 tank? Now, a T-72 tank against the Bradley will be a different thing altogether. That might have Specialist Jonesy practicing the reverse gears on his Bradley. Now, Jane has still got her injured leg, but we can have Jane practicing walking, because we've got like several weeks later. So Jane would also be practicing walking with maybe they've fashioned her some crutches. Now the next question we've got for our team that we don't have answered would be a bit later, maybe Jane's already walking, so time has passed. So that was the 7th of May, say a few days pass. We'll give them a few days grace because it works for the story. So maybe around the 10th of May, 10th or 11th of May. They've rested, they've dealt with stuff, and the one of the elders, she's got very sun-worn skin, grey, short curled hair, wearing a thinnish jumper because it is May, but she feels the cold, you know, dirty-ish, but kept as clean as possible and as repaired. You can see they've been repaired several, no, actually clean slacks that have been repaired several times, a pistol on her hip. She's going to approach Staff, as clearly he's the leader, and offer that the Marauders will be back soon. They're normally back soon. They don't know if they're going to be able to hold them off this time. And this is whilst Staff and the team have sort of been getting ready to get, now maybe they've taken spares, so they've basically stripped BTR for parts. So we'd need to roll for that as well. So maybe she would be saying to ask them to stay. Will they stay and help defend the town? They can stay as long as they like because they need more people and they're good people. And maybe they can help them by getting in touch with their militaries so they can be allowed to stay. And Staff and the team are going to have to decide whether they stay and defend against the Marauders, or do they mount up and then head towards the western border, which is what their last orders were. So we would then have them turning to each other and having a bit of a discussion, what are we going to do next? And I think that would be a prime time to finish. I don't know, I've never written for television, but that seems to me prime time, like 80s style, to finish the series. Are they going to stay and defend this town? Are they going to stay for a while and try and defend against these Marauders? Are they going to head west? We now have the 6 of them. So we've got Jonesy, we've got Corporal Jacob from the Polish Army. We now have Jane, who's got crutches and he's now just about starting to be manoeuvrable, but she has learnt the sniper talent. Staff, he's looking more haggard and more worn, but at least he's got a little glint in his eye that McCoy is back. Doc seems to have found a purpose in helping, so maybe Doc will want to stay because he's found a purpose helping the people in the village and doing some good and feeling like he's regaining his humanity. And Jack has learned some new mechanical skills in how to maintain the Bradley, and also he would have quite enjoyed stripping the BTR for parts. So Jack has got that bit there. So we then have sort of encapsulated that first chunk of the story, and we've ended a nice little part with where we sort of had encounters with the Mad King, and then we've tapped that off. So the Mad Kings, we've also, what happens to the Mad King's Enclave? The Mad King's Enclave does not have the Mad King leading anymore. Is it going to fall apart? Is it going to just, are they going to be ripped apart by marauders, or will they turn to being a marauder now they don't have the Mad King there to lead them? Are they just going to turn into some anarchist bunch, or will they perpetuate themselves quite effectively? So what happens with the Mad King? What happens with his enclave? We have lots of unanswered questions that we'll need to answer in about 10 weeks time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a break now from doing, we've done 20 weeks, we've reached a nice point in the story, we encountered some new things, but I'm going to take a bit of a break. I'm going to start playing Dragonbane, because I bought that about the same time as I bought Twilight 2000, and I've read it several times, and it has good solo rules. So thank you very much for following me over these last 20 weeks and the continuing stories. We will be continuing this later. Maybe I'll put up a poll, and so we can decide whether we stay and do some marauders. We work out that there's this band of marauders and we will then tear them apart. Or do we continue following our orders and head west, which is what Staff would probably want to do. He wants to get them home, particularly get Jane home. What will we do? I'll stick up a poll at some point between now and the next 10 weeks time, and maybe 10 weeks, might take a bit longer, depends how Dragonbane goes. But thank you very much. Thank you for joining me on the journey. I very much enjoyed playing it. If you get a chance to pick up Twilight 2000, the 4th edition, do so. It's got some great solo rules, but also I would think it would work fantastic as a traditional TTRPG with a team, though bigger battles I would imagine will take up quite a lot of your table time. And if you decide to do it with the counters instead of sort of Theatre of the Mind, even Theatre of the Mind, it will take up some of your time. But thank you very much indeed. If you're a subscriber, I'm very grateful for you subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please consider it, then you'll be able to know when Twilight 2000 comes back, if you're more interested in Twilight 2000 than anything else. But I continue to play 3 times a week. I release a video. It only slightly consumes my life. If you have any comments, please put them down. I'd love to sit to read them. Other than that, I think I will end there with this super long session. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you again for more Twilight 2000 soon, or another game later on. See ya.